All right guys, in this video I'm going to show you real quick for people that buy the line kit from Mods by Max. There's very simple instructions on how to put it together. Honestly, I trust most people to like kind of figure it out with the simple PDF instructions, but I do have a couple of things that I'd like to like make sure that it's very clear, and just for peace of mind, I want to just make this video so that you guys can see the fittings. So these are the 3/8 locking fittings that are going to go on the Ethanol Analyzer flex sensor. They go in very tight, so I don't want people to get scared. Normally, if you buy a full Bluetooth line kit or something with the gauge already pre-made completely by me, I will send all of this assembled. So it'll be torqued. You won't have to do anything. The only thing you have to do is hook these up to your engine. And so the install is very minimal when I make the whole kit for you guys. I think the hardest part is just hooking up basically this bracket onto the shock tower, which I'll show you guys in a second. But there's people that are already running a gauge, and those people, this video is for you. So I'm gonna get started real quick. Basically, what it would entail is that means that you already have either an Innovate sensor or another GM sensor like mine, and you have the gauge or a digital gauge, whatever it is setup that you have, and you just wanted the line kit with the bracket for a clean install. This is how you install it. So you'll get the line kit put together. It's already going to have the strap on it, similar like this, and I'll get to that in a minute. But the first thing you'll want to do is this 180 degree is going to go on the flex sensor like this, and the plug-in is going to face towards the firewall. And I always install this one first because this one's kind of a pain in the butt. You want to have the sleeve in there already, so you'll insert the sleeve in there, and then this you want to make sure that it's clean, have no debris in there, because you don't want to get dirt on these bushings. And then this is the part that I was warning you guys. It's a very tight fit, so just kind of massage it in there slowly, make sure it's straight, and as you're putting pressure, you're going to turn this. See how it's kind of hard to turn because it needs to go in a little bit more. So I'm squeezing, I'm turning. You should be able to do it by hand. You don't have to use a tool for this. And once you get it all the way in, I'm not going to install this completely. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes. But let's just say that we had the other side in as well. You're going to do the same thing. You're going to kind of work that in there slowly. And then once you line it up, just keep applying pressure, turn it. Apply a little bit of pressure, turn it until it doesn't turn anymore. Here's the thing, guys, is once this is fully inserted, it's sealed. Tightening this does not make it stop leaking. The only purpose of tightening this is just so it doesn't back out. That's it. These are sealed the minute they're inserted in there. So having said that, you're going to use an 11/16 wrench. And the reason I have this off of the bracket is because you want to be able to pivot it, because you don't know which way these are going to face, so you want to be able to get this in there. These are tightened very, very minimal pressure, so you just want to give it maybe, let's say this is completely bottomed out and the wrench is facing this way, you're going to give it like a quarter turn. And that's it. That's good enough. It's never going to back out on you. Not the way that I install it. And once you get this strap on here, it would be almost impossible for this to back itself out by itself. So don't over tighten this, or you'll ruin the fitting, or you're going to make life impossible for you if the sensor ever needs to be replaced. But if that happens, just so you guys know, these fittings they can be replaced. So if something gets damaged or it needs to be replaced in the future for whatever reason, because you guys swap something out, I do sell the fittings separately, and you don't have to buy a full kit again. This can be repaired, it can be shortened, it can be modified. There's a lot of things that can be done with this. But if you want the peace of mind of a completely new kit for whatever reason, then that's fine too. We can do that. All right, so let's say this is tight now, right? So then the next step would be this piece here. A lot of people end up moving this little bracket wherever they think it's best. The reason I put it here is because I like relieving tension from these fittings. So these angles here, I like to space it out evenly like so, and then I'll place my little strap where it's not tugging in. So you see how when I pull right here, it ends up moving this 180 around. I want it to be nice and straight with no tension on there. So right there, that's gonna kind of allow me to extend the life of this if it ever gets manipulated a lot. And that would be in the case of, like, let's say you have an engine swap, or they do your valley plate or something, and the lines have to come off and have to be moved around. As long as this is on here, it's protecting the angles on this side. This side is very unlikely to leak or cause any issues because it's just a straight disconnect back there. So the little bolt that goes on here, I recommend putting some Loctite on there. Loctite is very inexpensive. You can get it from AutoZone or from Amazon. The Allen, it looks like a 330 seconds, 332 is what I'm using to tighten this. This doesn't have to be super tight. I never had issues. So all right, so there we go. I'm relieving stress here, just making sure that it's good. And once I put this on the car, when I plug it in, these will end up getting kind of moved around a little bit, and that's fine. You might be able to reposition this if you have to. You can always move this around, so don't think that it has to stay the way that it's sent. So this is it for this. Pretty simple, right? Now I'm going to show you guys how to deal with the strap. And just so you guys know, this strap right now, it's very malleable, so it's able to shape it's able to take whatever shape your fender has, and that's the reason I'm using it right now. But I am working on a permanent bracket that's more adjustable and that looks better. So once I have that available, I will reach out to all my customers and let you guys know that it's available. Okay, for the strap, now that we have this done, you'll want to take these off, and you're going to want to put Loctite on these as well when this is put on. But you'll take this off first, and this bolt, the reason I send it in here and not in the bag is because this is the bolt that's going to tap its way into the fender. So you'll see this little notch here, and for this you're going to use a 530 seconds Allen, and I recommend a socket because you're able to put more pressure on it and thread the hole, and I'm going to show you guys that right now. So all right, so on top of the hood, so when you open the hood, you're gonna see a hole on your fender right here on this side, and I could probably show you guys on my GS better actually, because I already have the kit installed here. But basically, this hole that's in here doesn't have any threads. It's just a hole, so this will create the threads. So you want to screw that in all the way and then take it back out, and then what you'll do is you'll open up this bracket like this, and you're gonna kind of lightly put this on there, and then you're gonna push down on the bracket, make sure it's seated nice and correctly, and you want to face it straight towards the engine so it's nice and straight, just like this one. And then what you're gonna use is this. I send a couple little self tappers. This is a Phillips, so just grab yourself a drill. And if you guys can see right here, there's one little extra screw you'll drill in there. So basically you'll have this installed on there like that, and then you'll choose, I usually do this little hole here. That's where I put the self tapper in. And there's a space between the liner inside of the wheel and the top, so don't worry about the screw peeking down there. It's not going to affect anything. But once this bracket is in there with the black self tapper and this, you're going to remove this. So you'll remove that, and the black self tapper will keep this in there, and then you simply fold this down, and then this will permanently stay there. So you'll go ahead and screw this all the way in, and then now you'll have the bracket nice and stable right there and leveled. And now we can bring our ethanol kit and place it on there, and I'll show you guys real quick. Eventually I'll update this video to actually have a full install. I'm just doing this last minute because I have 2 orders going out to New York right now, and I needed this for those customers. So once this is on the car, you're gonna place the ethanol analyzer kit on there, and this part right here, don't over tighten it. You're gonna put a little bit of Loctite on here, and just give that a couple turns. A couple turns on this side. Make sure it's even. You just want a little bit of pressure here, and with some Loctite it'll never come apart, but don't over tighten it because you could crack the sensor and cause a leak. So you don't want to over tighten it. Honestly, I tighten it by hand. I don't use a wrench, and don't use a lot of leverage, just until it's nice and snug and that sensor isn't going anywhere. All right, so let's say you have that on there already. This is the hard part, because you would have everything mounted and ready to go there. So this will be mounted, and then now, as far as your fittings go, the 90 goes down into the engine. It's kind of hard to see, but and then the straight goes in there. On the ISF, you're gonna have 2 lines right here side by side. It works with either one, so you're gonna remove the line, and then you're gonna replace it with this. And it's a very low pressure line, so you don't have to worry about affecting horsepower or bottlenecking your system. So I haven't had any issues with that. I just dynoed my car, and it had no effect on the fueling. I was able to pull full power from it, so no issues there. All right guys, so that's pretty much all I got right now. I will make a more detailed video on an actual install once I have a local car available to do that on. And right now, don't forget, I do have the V6 Lexus models available now. I tested a kit on my my GS 350, and it plugs in just as clean as it does on the Fs. And so anybody blending, be kind of just get in touch with me through DMs on Instagram. That's the easiest way to get a hold of me. I reply back usually pretty quick, and the website will be up soon, so I'm excited for that. I got some merch coming out. Anyway, please share the video with anybody that you know that's blending, that might need a kit. I don't only do them for Lexus. I actually build custom kits for anybody that needs them, that is running that wants to run a Bluetooth app or a gauge. I know there's a lot of cars that integrate with their stock ECU, and that tells you your ethanol content, so those cars would be excluded because there's really no need for this. But for those that need it and want to know their exact ethanol content, or if they're getting quality E85, hit me up, let me know what you got. Drop a comment down below with any questions. If you guys are installing this and you're having issues, or you found something, a little trick to make things easier for people, drop it on the comments. We're trying to build a community here of people that like doing shit on their own, and I'm excited for this, and I'm excited for all you guys to run this kit, because I've been testing it myself for a while. I have a lot of people running it, and we've had 0 issues so far. So Later, guys. All right, guys, before I leave you, I do want to explain a couple things too. In each of the kits that I send out, there's going to be a little bag with some hardware. This bolt right here, it's a little bit larger than this one. The reason I include that is in case you strip this one, this will take care of that for you. So this is a spare. You don't have to use it. It's only in the event that you strip that by accident. And then the black ones, you only need to use one, but I include two because there's a possibility you could drop it in the engine bay and lose it. So I don't want you guys to freak out. There's always a spare one, so you don't have to use it. So you're basically going to be using this one and one black one. That's a self-tapper. But if you strip that, you can use that one, and if you lose one of the black ones, you have a spare.